Hi everybody, I hope you and yours are well. This is Avram Chaptik from the Jewish Learning Exchange in Los Angeles. We continue to pray for the hostages and for the soldiers and for Jews around the world should be safe and protected and people should come home. This week's Parsha is Parshat Noach. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season, the holiday of Sukkot, and just wonderful special holidays. Parshat Noach deals with the destruction of the world because of the corruption of the world. And people were stealing and environment was corrupt that even the Talmud teaches us that even the animals acted in an immoral way. Rabbi found out an interesting story that took place in a hospital in Eastern Europe, that patients would come into the hospital and would get sick. They got cured from what they came into the hospital, but they got sick with other ailments until they brought in specialists from Warsaw, and they found that the old hospital building was infested with germs, and therefore they had to just rip apart the entire hospital and rebuild it anew so that no one would catch any new illnesses. And says Rabbi a very beautiful and important insight. He says, just as there is physical germs, there are also spiritual germs. Or as one rabbi once said, there's something called spiritual pollution, and how we speak and what we listen to, be it music or what we watch, be it videos, what we read. All of these create an environment that sometimes could be very positive and, God forbid, could be very detrimental for our spiritual health. Just like you need clean air to breathe well, we need spiritually clean air to be able to thrive spiritually as well. One of my grandchildren, who's 2 years old, saw me walking into the house wearing my hat and jacket, and he looks at me and says, "Good Shabbos." It wasn't Shabbos, it was a regular Monday morning, but to him, people coming, going, it's Shabbos. So we need to be careful about the environment that we're in and realize that the environment makes a big difference. As a matter of fact, what was the environment in the Teva, in the Ark? So on one hand, you can imagine the sounds and smells were not so delicious with all the different animals there and with the pitch used to keep the water out of the Ark. But the environment was very special because what did Noach and his family do the entire time they were there? They did acts of loving kindness. They helped all the animals. Some had to be fed in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening, some all three. And they were busy doing acts of loving kindness. And this, by the way, Rabbi Kirzner of blessed memory says, that's the idea of why they survived and how they survived, because Olam Chesed Yiboneh. The world is built on loving kindness. They were going to be creating a new world, and it had to have a foundation of loving kindness. So the environment might not have been smelled great, but it was an environment of holiness because they were just doing so many beautiful acts of kindness. And this is something that we need to take into our psyche and think about it. You go to a restaurant, you're not only paying for the food, you're paying for the ambiance. There could be some beautiful music playing in the background. There could be some nice flowers there. And it could be the beautiful tablecloth, and the presentation of the food can be special. And all this enhances the experience of the delicious food you're eating in the kosher restaurant. So we need to understand the importance of creating an environment of holiness in our homes. And that's why a Shabbos table, we should be careful what the conversation is about. We should find little Torah thoughts to share and a nice story to share. And we should avoid some of the things that we talked about. I know of an executive of a major entertainment company that his superior came to his house and said, "Wow, you have a dining room table?" Because they usually never eat together and don't eat at a table together, probably on electronics, watching computers or TV. They're not creating an environment of holiness. And he was impressed with this whole concept of creating an environment of holiness by having a dining room table and people sitting around together and talking and sharing thoughts and sharing their experiences. Some people have a beautiful idea of looking around the table, and everyone should express what are they grateful for to the Almighty this week. That something happened, or can they just think of something that they have great gratitude to the Almighty? Rabbi Chanan Wasserman, the great Rosh Hashiva, dean of school from Europe, who came to America to collect funds, and he didn't want to, and this was in the 1930s, he didn't want to look outside the car when he was being taken for appointments, because he felt there would be things there that he didn't want to see that may affect his soul. And he would look down. But one time he was in a car looking down, and he said to the driver, "Where are you taking me? I sense the impurity in the air." It was not a very lofty area of town. It was many unbecoming advertisements and things going on in those blocks. And he, without looking, sensed it and said, "Please take me away from it. I can't even study Torah because the environment is too polluted." So may the Almighty give us the strength and the clarity and think about, how can I create a holier environment in my home? What can I do to create an environment of holiness, of joy, of happiness, so that the atmosphere that I'm in and everyone else is in, is encouraging and positive and spiritual, so that it cleans away the negative pollution that exists in the world. Have a wonderful Shabbos. All the best.